everyone. I almost died. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For all the new subscribers, thank you so much for watching, and for all the returning subscribers, welcome to another video by your fave. Alrighty then, so I've been having a really horrible day today, and I'm going to tell you guys all about it. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll figure out why. So I was basically doing my makeup, and this look I was actually following a video that I saw just a couple of days ago by Glory Nelson. She was doing like a 1-layer foundation. So I decided, man, you know, I can try this and obviously showcase it for you guys on the channel. As soon as I started the Thunderbolt baby, I was just like, but how am I supposed to produce this quarantine content for the babies and the children if you are prohibiting me? You're prohibiting me from going to the liquor store. You're prohibiting me from going outside. Now you're prohibiting me from producing content. What is next? Somebody please don't come in, because... Okay guys, so anyway, I'm back with another video, and this time I'm going to do a video that I have been avoiding doing for actually almost 6 months now. Guys, my makeup just doesn't look like it's itty, but I really don't care. This is not about my face. This is about a conversation we are going to have, pure, flat, and to the point. But if my makeup looks trash, please understand that I really was trying Glory's new trick foundation, and I didn't even straighten my wig. So anyway, I've been getting a lot of questions, and I've been meaning to do this video for a while, but I've been avoiding it for the past, I think, 6-7 months. And a lot of people have asked me, when is that video coming out? Why have you been asking for Q&As on Instagram on relationships and you're not doing a video? So now that you guys know what this is about, you guys have obviously seen off the headline that this is a relationships 101 video. Yes! Stressful. Very stressful. But this is a relationships 101 video. We are here today to tackle all the questions, all the assumptions, every single thing that you guys have asked me on Instagram. What I've done is I've taken each and every single question. Yes, I read all of them. Even the ones that I'm not going to answer today, just know I read it. All of those, are you back together with? Did you leave this person? Why are you guys back together? Did you take him back? I'll answer all of that for you guys today. Alright, so what made me decide to start this kind of segment on my channel, right? So about a year ago, I released a vlog in about 2018 December, and in that vlog I basically just broke down. Like I tried to be as strong as I possibly could, but to a certain extent, the more I kept speaking about what I was going through, the more I felt myself continuously breaking down whilst recording that video. I don't even know how I managed to edit that video, to be honest with you guys. I even thought the editing was horrible, because I was just like, keep busy. So where was I did a vlog in 2018, and basically I was breaking down, and it led to me getting my very first tattoo, which is called the Stars line. A lot of people commented on that vlog. I actually got a lot of positivity on that vlog itself. There was also a lot of negative negative. What kind of English is this? Like, I must work for like what, 4 days, and all of a sudden I can't even speak English? Okay, that's really funny. Maybe it needs another glass of wine. Okay, so when I did that vlog a year ago, I got a lot of comments. I did get a lot of backlash about, you know, from your very famous popular website, and a lot of people made fun of me, and I was just like, whatever, you know. I knew that when I released that video there was going to be a lot of backlash, but for anybody who needed to know that I get it, I get what you're going through. I knew that the people that needed to see that video and be able to relate would be able to. But what I didn't know is that I didn't realize how much it would spark an interest in terms of people coming to me with their problems and obviously asking me for advice. And to be honest with you guys, I am not the right person to give you advice, but today I will try to answer generally most of the questions that I've been asked in terms of relationships, in terms of making it work with your partner. And I generally hope that from this video you guys get some sort of healing, closure, questions that are answered. A lot of you guys in my Instagram requests have asked me and have told me some of your painful stories in your relationships, and it's so sad because it's like, a lot of you guys, I've been through what you're going through. I've been through it, but also in the same breath, it's kind of so hard to give someone advice and tell them, you know what, believe in your self-worth, do all that stuff, when I know good and well that in that particular instance, I went and did the complete opposite. So it was really difficult, and that's why I kept avoiding doing this video for so long. I didn't want to give you guys misinformed advice. I didn't want to give you guys advice that I knew very well that I wouldn't be able to do myself. I didn't want to give you guys advice that would lead you back into a negative space. I didn't want to put any of you through that. But today I've managed to take every single question and basically kind of put it down into a series of 5 things that I think that you should really focus on when you're in a relationship. They're so important. I can't even explain how important this is. And I know you guys have heard it many times before on the timeline or whatever, but if you need someone to explain it to you, I am here. We're doing it today, right now. So if you want to see what are the 5 tips to have a successful relationship, look at me giving relationship advice like I did psychology. Okay, if you guys want to know the 5 tips that I've used in my previous relationships for them to I don't know, guess last so long, then please keep watching. Okay guys, so for any of you who are new to the channel, who have followed me recently, maybe within the past 6-7 months or so, you obviously have seen a different side of my life. Previous to that, anyone who's followed me about over a year ago and stuff, you guys basically know the bulk of my life, right? I was in a long-term relationship for about 3.5 years. Well, you know what, I'd even say 5 years because I don't even understand. He doesn't know when we met, I don't know when we met, so we're not about to correct and say who's right, but I'm right. We were together for about 3.5 to 4 years, right? And a lot of things happened in our relationship. There was a lot of turmoil. Now, when I tell you the story, it's because I'm comfortable now and he's comfortable now for me to be in a space where we can generally share our story and hope that it makes a difference to everybody else. But the reason I didn't want to talk about it on my channel was because irrespective of everything that's happened, I have a lot of respect for this person. I think in a relationship there's so many things that happen between 2 people, and sometimes it's portrayed to the public as something else when it's not. So I knew good and well the part and the role that I played in the failure of our relationship when we took a break and when we obviously went through our breakup, and he obviously knew the role that he played when we went through our breakup, right? There were a lot of things obviously that I couldn't let go of, and there were a lot of things that he couldn't let go of, and it obviously made our relationship very tumultuous. It made our relationship very volatile, and it made our relationship very unhappy. So I think when that happened, also put into case in point that I was also in the dark about a lot of things, right? The one thing that I think, this is going to be very crazy for me to say this, but I'm going to say this anyway. The one thing I respect him for is that in everything that happened, he protected me first. There were a lot of things I didn't find out until the end of our relationship, and I'm glad for that. As much as I'm just like, bitch. As much as I say that, I'm glad for that because he genuinely tried to protect me at all costs. And there were a lot of people who tried. There were a lot of third parties that used to try and break us up all the time. There were a lot of very I don't know, evil people in our circle, especially women, who obviously try to break us up so that they could obviously, you know, I don't know, do whatever they wanted to do. So a little bit of a background on me. I met him when I was 21, and I had just gotten over this really horrible breakup, and we fell in love. And I think, to be honest with you guys, I know in my previous video I said my first heartbreak was Jerome. Yes, but I think when I think about it now, I can't imagine me ever having loved anyone the way that I love him, right? Always will, like always will. This is not a question. Always will. But obviously niggas will be niggas and women will be women, and we make mistakes because we're humans. And it took a long time for me to accept that this person is a human being. This person is not supposed to be a perfect person because that's what I'm bringing to the table. No. It took a long time for me to come to acceptance with the fact that you either choose to forgive people and move forward, or you choose to hold on to it and then it affects you. And the problem was not him, the problem was me. I wasn't ready to move forward. I wasn't ready to let go of everything that had happened. So I was being the mean person in our relationship. Do you get what I'm saying? Right. Now that I am adult enough to admit that two wrongs don't make a right, period. Two wrongs don't make a right. And I'm not here to paint him as a bad person. He's not. He's an amazing person. I just think that obviously a lot of third-party factors and a lot of you know, vibes, women, alcohol, coolness got in the way of everything. Got in the way of everything, got in the way of us. And because that's not how I was raised, and that's not how my family and the things that we believe in. I'm very private. I'm not someone who likes being out there, and I didn't. And I obviously was with him and I had to learn to adapt to that, but it wasn't something that I liked. So when things obviously started spiraling out of control, I really didn't like it. I didn't like people having so much opinion on my relationship. So it wasn't until there was a certain instance on social media with a really popular gossip page where things started to kind of shake, mate. Things were shaking. I told myself I'd be very serious in this video because this is not a conversation that I wanted to have by adding some ad-libs, okay? Some ad-libs, some jokes and stuff. It's not something that I find funny, but it is something that my humor has taught me to learn how to laugh things off, right? So it wasn't until there was like a popular gossip page that obviously made reference to the fact that someone I was with was obviously, you know, doing things they weren't supposed to be doing. And obviously they also called me out. Naledi, bring the receipt. Because I didn't miss literally 2020. Because I didn't miss the receipts of 2018. But anyway, have it more. Essentially, it wasn't necessarily what was being said. It's what people were saying about me. And it's what people were saying about us. And they were basically telling me I look older than him, I'm like a cougar, and yeah, she's gonna go to her little YouTube page and start crying. Someone said, no guys, don't do this because you're gonna make her cry and do another video. Jesus, I was hurt. But because spread your hands, the hurt is only for a moment. You know, you gotta thug it out, man. You gotta thug it out. But essentially, people really kind of like attacked me for some strange reason. Like, there were so many comments on some, yeah, she's gonna go do another vlog about herself crying. Why doesn't she leave him? Because her family has money. Yeah, you know, things like she looks older than him, she's a cougar. And you know, a lot of the backlash was not really on him. It was more on me. I was like, and it was women. It was women basically saying, if they weren't calling me stupid for staying, they were calling me an idiot because, no, but you're rich, why are you with him? Like, a lot of people defended me in the sense that they were like, she's not with him for the money, because everyone was like, no, she's with him for the money. And I was just like, So eventually I got over it, and look, I'm not one to let social media get to me. And I'll tell you why I say this, because I've had my fair share of being the bully. I've had my fair share of being very overpowering and being mean to people in instances where I didn't have to be. So every dog has its day. That's what I firmly believe. And I knew that sooner or later my day was coming. I just didn't think it was coming at the expense of my partner. I did not see that one coming. I didn't see it coming. I was just like, you know what, we laugh about it now, but it genuinely hurt me. It hurt me because, one, that video was not, yes, I knew that it can go one of two ways, but I didn't know how much people disliked me or how much people generally felt like I was with that person for monetary value, right? And it's sad because if people knew where we started, like when I met him and when we both just like had one car and we were both just like, you know, kind of like cute and stuff, people would know that I have never been with that person for the money or for monetary value. And it hurts me to have to sit on video and be able to say that to get some sort of validation. I don't need validation from anyone, but it's just so hurtful to think that people would look at our relationship of so long and think that I would begazela through rubbish because of money. Money, go begazela no chelete. Nkampani ditse ke o begazela qoof. I begazela, and I begazela because I loved it. And I begazela because that is the man that I am telling you guys, when I am alone and that man is right next to me, no one is my biggest cheerleader, no one is my biggest fan, no one loves me the way that person loves me, and no one loves him the way I love him. And that is why even through our separation, we never really separated. I'ma just be honest, I'ma put it out there. Even through our separation, we never really separated because it was extremely hard. How do you separate from someone you've shared a bed with for so many years on end? My problem was not with him. The problem was not in our relationship. The problem was the hearsay and the third parties and the outside people and how everyone always would come to me and tell me what they claim he was doing. But yeah, anyway, that's essentially why that vlog came out. I was betrayed by a lot of people that I cared about. I was betrayed by someone that I thought would not betray me, and therefore I felt it necessary to make this video and essentially tell you about the journey I've been through from last year June till now. Women in my age category are concerned about security, and they're looking for someone to marry, they're looking for someone to provide for their lifestyle and all of that stuff. And unfortunately, that's not at the top of my to-do list. I'm more trying to get my master's, make my own money and stuff like that. But you know, having a man to do all that for me is also great, but if I can do it myself, that's good too. Like, I wish people knew how much gossip ruined our relationship, and that was partially my fault. He's older, he knows that people are gonna say shit and people are gonna say Naledi's doing this when she's not, but me, I didn't know that. And it was a big deal having to deal with knowing that people will say anything just to hurt you. Anything. They can even say your mother's been farting in the street when we know good and well that my mom's no longer with us. They'll say anything to hurt you, and that's the aim of the game, really, to hurt you. But now, this is not me removing complete fault of my partner and the relationship that we were in. Our relationship and the actions that we chose to do were obviously as a result of the third parties and people being able to see how breakable it was, and how, even though we were such a strong unit, there were so many loopholes that people knew that they could break through. You understand what I'm saying? That's essentially what happened, and that's how the vlog came out. But a lot of people have been sending me DMs about their relationships and asking me, Naledi, I've got this kind of situation, what do I do? A lot of people have been asking me, Naledi, are you with this person? Why? Like, but a lot of people essentially have been asking me for advice. And now this is what I'm going to do. I've decided to take every single thing that I've learned from my previous relationship and scale it down into 5 simple rules. So are you ready? First rule: relationships are complex. I'm gonna say this again. Relationships are complex. You cannot expect this relationship, because it has this certain recipe and ingredients for it to work, that it's going to be the same with yours, right? So I also realized that it's so easy to give off advice and tell someone to leave your partner when you feel nothing for that person and you're looking at the situation from the outside in. Now, when someone tells me a story like, okay, no, he's been doing this, I have to kind of mitigate and be able to see, okay, Naledi, you only know one segment of the story. So the one thing I've always given out the advice is to talk to the person. Talk to your partner. It's never a good advice to end up breaking up with someone, because you don't kind of know, you can't gauge what that person's feeling. It's almost a very dismissive act to break up with someone because this is how you feel and you don't want to engage in it anymore. It's a very dismissive and it's a very selfish act, and it's an act that I've engaged in too many times. Yeah, break up, Amina. Break up, dump. And then you'd be like, you're dumping me. I think I've dumped him a total of 72 times. What I would suggest is always having a strong sense of communication. If something is making you uncomfortable, you need to be able to talk to your partner about it. But if your partner does nothing about it, that's when the tone of the conversation is allowed to change. But until then, I think as women, sometimes women and men, humans, we need to learn to humble ourselves to our significant others. Someone may do something wrong, but that doesn't give you leverage to be right and to mistreat that person. And that's what we do. When someone is wrong, oh, yeah, hey, go with them, but I want him out. It's so easy to do that, but it's not the right thing to do, especially if you're trying to build a solid relationship. A lot of relationships don't make it because of communication. A lot of guys, as much as some might not say it, communication is very important, especially when you're speaking to the opposite sex. We respond to things differently. Maybe guys don't like being yelled at, maybe women don't like being, there are certain ways you would need to respond to your partner, but every situation and every relationship is unique. So I would suggest the first things first, you talk to your partner, because that's kind of what sets the tone as to where the disagreement or the miscommunication can be fixed. The second one is social media. Woo! Now, I wanted to talk about this one. I actually spoke about this one at the beginning of the video. Social media had an immense impact on the issues in my relationship. Focus on your relationship. Don't worry too much about what people on social media have to say. I think social media is a platform that can make or break your relationship, and as much as we make light of the statement, it weighs really heavily. I kind of respect women who choose to keep their relationships private. I have had great difficulty with doing that because I want to showcase my partner every single day. But I think minimizing the use of social media in your relationship would be essential, especially if you guys have people who like to trigger you very easily, or you're easily triggered by things that you see on your social media. Some of my friends felt like it works for them if they unfollow their partners and their partners don't follow them, they block each other. I don't know about those ones. I'm not the ones to engage with that. But just off the basis that some people have seen things on social media or have felt like their partners act differently on social media, you kind of need to nip that in the bud at the beginning. Okay, the third one would definitely be monitor what you tell your friends and family. Now, this also plays a very integral part, and the reason being is because your friends and family will eventually develop an idea of who they think this person is. Now, I used to tell my friends everything. I still do. My friends are not very judgmental, and I think I've been blessed with having great friendships and people who understand the kind of predicament I was in. And I also had friends with married people, so I could kind of gauge, like, okay, because this is not someone I was just dating to date, this is someone I was dating to marry. So you can imagine when people were attacking me and kind of making a clown out of my relationship, how much that affected me, because to me this was the route to so you kind of have to monitor what you tell your family. Do you want my advice? Don't tell your family anything. Don't. Just don't. Anything that has to do with your family, do not tell them about your partner. And I say this because it's even the smallest thing that could trigger some sort of dislike from your family, and it can end up in very bad circumstances where when you guys are not getting along and they kind of release it as their family members, it'll result in you kind of looking bad to the family and stuff like that. Everybody cares for the people they love, dude. Like, if I were to sit and tell my family what I've been through, if I were to tell my dad, but the last thing you should do is make your partner look bad. A good friend of mine, Aisha, right? So I'm friends with someone called Aisha. She's married to someone I really love. I love them so much. Now, Aisha always told me, like, she's like, Naledi, no matter what I go through with him, I'll never tell my family. And I'm like, why, Aisha? And she made me understand something, that at the end of the day, it's just the two of you guys. It's just the two of you. Like, she made me understand the importance of having like a tight-knit relationship, or having a tight-knit relationship in marriage. It's so important, guys, because at the end of the day, all you have is each other. Number 4 would have been communication. I said this at the beginning, but I want to reiterate it again. A lot of disagreement, a lot of breakups, a lot of you know, not seeing eye to eye comes from communication. People don't want to see someone else's point of view, and it's going to be hard. Like I said, a relationship is between two people. I'm not here to be able to give you solid advice when I only know one segment of the story. But when you are able to understand what makes your partner happy and what makes your partner upset, or in terms of communication, how your partner responds to communication, that's very important. Like with me, he understands that I hate being yelled at. And once you yell at me, it's crickets. I hear nothing. Yeah, I'm ready for this. So he understands that he shouldn't yell at me. And I understand that I need to give him an opportunity to say how he feels. And I need to acknowledge his part, or acknowledge how he feels in a situation. Like, I was very bad at that. I'm very selfish. When you hurt me, you've hurt me. There's no, but also sorry to you. For what? No. But I had to learn that from being with him, that, you know what, a relationship doesn't consist of one person. It consists of both of us. So he taught me to be more, I don't know, aware of him and what he wants from me. And I taught him how to not be so selfish. So I think that for me was something I had to teach him, and he had to teach me how to not be so independent and not say what I feel and feel what I say and do what I do and walk away and dump everyone and block everyone's calls, because that's my spillion. Do you know my spillion? Blocking calls. And then the last one, being selfish. And I don't mean be selfish in a singular form. I mean be selfish in a plural form, in a together form, in a relationship form. Be selfish, guys, with your happiness, with your time, with everything that encompasses you and your partner. Be selfish. Don't give so much of yourself to social media. Don't give so much of yourself to other people. Don't give so much of your relationship and your precious moments to people who don't care. Be selfish with all those moments, because I'm telling you, those are all the moments you miss the most when things don't work out. You miss those moments the most. Be selfish with that time, and be selfish with that happiness, and don't ever feel like you don't deserve to feel happy. When it came to the two of us, I think I spent so much time in trying to, you know, fix what I thought was broken, and not focus on the cherishable moments, which was him, me, us, the dog, the happiness, the love. Like, there was so much love. Like, there is so much love. Like, I can't even begin to explain to you guys that I, more than anyone else, understands why it's so hard to wake up and decide that you're leaving someone, especially someone you've invested your time and energy into. So I would urge you to take these 5 little steps that I've conjured up myself. Make no sense. I'm no therapist. I'm definitely no therapist. I'm actually a marketing person. But I want you to remember these 5 steps. Like, even if you wake up in this 21-day lockdown and you ask yourself, what are my shortcomings? My shortcomings, I know what they are. It's so hard to be happy and just enjoy the love that you have with someone without having to be strong. So I urge you guys to take these 5 steps. Kind of write down your flaws. Like, do what Patty said we must do on Why Did I Get Married. Write down your flaws and understand where you think you need to work better. For all the ladies who inboxed me, and I didn't want to put your stories on my video, I didn't want to showcase, and you know, but for every woman who's DM'd me right now, I want you guys to know that I've read each and every single one of your messages. I completely understand what you're going through. I'm so sympathetic, but I want you to know that a relationship consists of more. A relationship is about so much more. It's about giving a part of yourself to your partner, in the efforts, in the hopes that you guys won't hurt each other in the end of it all. So I urge you guys, before you want to walk away, before you want to make a hasty decision, always remember why you held on for so long. Take this time in the lockdown. If you guys are with your partners, if you guys feel like some things are too heavy to handle, some things are too hard to bear, this is the perfect time to work on strengthening those parts of your relationship with your partner. And I hope that when you guys strengthen them, comment down below, DM me, let me know. And I wish nothing but the best for each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being so supportive. Thank you so much for everyone. Thank you so much to everyone who watched the vlog and it inspired you in some way, shape or form. It makes me so happy to see. And these are not tears of sadness, these are tears of joy, okay? These are tears of honestly appreciation and gratitude to you guys, because I genuinely thought that when I released that vlog that people would obviously pick on me, and I knew what I was getting myself into, and I am an ugly crier, but the positive feedback that you guys have given me, I'm so happy. And I want you guys to know that it's not an easy journey. Everybody's gonna go through this, but as long as you know that you have someone that you can talk to about things like this, and you guys are more than welcome to DM me at any point if you guys ever need someone to talk to or advice or anything like that. No, please don't ask me for advice. I won't be able to give you that, hey. Like, no. No, my makeup is officially ruined. But anyway, I want you guys to know you are not alone. We'll get through this together. But until then, if there's anything else that you guys would like me to comment on, maybe do another relationship vlog. I know I got a lot of Q&As about being with people who are married. And I was just like, I wasn't sure how to respond to that, but there were a lot of other questions about people being in married relationships and stuff like that, and I did want to comment on that, but I wanted to release this one first for a lot of the comments that I got, which were fairly similar. But if you guys do want to see a lot of relationship 101 videos, guide to a better relationship, please comment down below. And thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll definitely see you guys in my next video. Bye.